Hey guys, it's Andrew. I'm here to show you in that link how to sign in and do the draft for our league. So, for this example, I'm going to use Jeff's manager, Billy Haywood, and show you all how it's done. So, when you come up into the link, this will be the screen and it will show you these little menus, which I'll show you all in a moment. But it will show that it will say manager, then there's a little drop down box that will have your name, your manager's name, so kind of remember what your manager's name is, and you select it. For this, like I said, we're using Jeff's manager, and then you're going to put in your password, which is your password to the game, and then we'll log in, and it will show up kind of as a blank page, but you did log in as seen here. You can mess with your profile, which will always be right here, or the log out button. But what I'm going to show you is how to draft, and these are kind of the three, these are three tabs that you can click on. This goes to our online league, our, I guess it would be external browser, web browser league, where it will show you the front page of our league. I think front page of our league, which you can always access, online too, and it'll give you all the information, news, whatever has been happening in our league. And then the other one is just a simple, who's the managers in this league, and it will show here. But I'm here to show you the draft. The draft list. And the reason why I selected Jeff real quick is because he's the second pick, and the first pick was the Angels, the computer team. So what we have here, from the bottom to the top, we have three tabs here. We have the draft tab, the selections tab, and the history tab. And I'll just say right now, the history tab, you don't really have to worry about that. Even in the other league that I'm a part of, that Jeff and I are a part of, we don't even use this history tab when we're dealing with the draft. The selections tab, I will show you that in a moment, but right now let's just look at the draft page. So from left to right, we have the preferences, which you can do whatever, which you can auto draft, or auto draft using a draft list, which I'll show you that in a moment, or use the list if the time expires, which you really don't need that because we're not having a timer for this draft. Then you have the draft list right here, which I'll show you more in a moment. The display is what you want to see right here for the players. So right now it's on the default, which is showing all the batters, and you want to display, position, age, contact gap, eye power, void K. I do not know how to get this on here, which is a pain, which I'll have to ask my other league how to get that on there. But anyway, this is where you kind of sort it. So just say if you want to look at catchers, or if you want to look at starting pitchers, or if you want to look at outfielders. Let's just do that. Outfielders, just have that. Click apply, and then it will show up every player that has at least a little bit of left fielding experience, and then which is seen right here. Then we have the selections spot, where it shows you who you selected in what round, what pick you had in that round, and then it will have the person. So anyway, getting back to this, which now you can go to here. It shows you the position, the player's name, the position, players, pretty much the player's name, position, age, contact gap, whatever. If you want to look at a player, it will have an OOTP web browser page, which I prefer more than this, which you can click on the name and see what they have, but it also doesn't give you a lot of what's going on with that player. you want to go to this little tab which says to OOTP page, which goes to our web browser, and it shows, everything about the player, his overalls, his potentials, lefty righty potentials, all that stuff, all this. And then if he had any minor league or high school numbers, it will show down here 350, 370, 87, 472, and 516 slash line, and all that stuff. And it will give you a little bit of, a little bit of personality, which can be shown in the normal OOTP game. So if you find a player, doing, just looking at that, you can either do two things. So since Jeff will be, whenever he logs in and he finds a good player and he wants to select him, more than likely he will be pressing this blue right arrow button that says draft player, and that's the player that you'll be drafting. And that's it. That's how you draft the player. If you're, it's the third pick now. You're done with your pick, and you want to create a list, just in case if you forget, not everybody's going to be on at the same time. Hopefully we are, because if we are, the draft will go faster. But if we aren't, you can make a list, which is this green button right here, and it says add to draft list, which then adds them to this draft list box. And let's just get some players up here to show. And of course, just like how a fantasy draft works, if you make a list, you can move a player up, you can move them down, and if you don't want that player, you can just exit on out. I know that I kind of brought this up in our, in the normal group chat and stuff, but the reason why I want everybody to be on a computer is so that they have Out of the Park Baseball with them and have the draft pool list with them. And the reason why, and this is the reason why I didn't close out of this page, is because, okay, you're going to come in here and you're expecting, okay, these guys are from, these guys are top to bottom, best potential rating down. No, even in this, even when you're trying to figure out the columns and everything, it doesn't really give you any potential ratings or any of that. Even even just clicking on the name, it doesn't even give you that. To be easier on yourselves, that's the reason why I want you all to have the OOTP game on, because once you have that draft pool up, you can automatically sort who has the best potential rating, and, select second baseman and all that stuff, and it will be easier to look for. And that's why it's kind of hard. That's why it's kind of hard to, select a player and just go through everything. And there was a point yesterday or 2 days ago where I had that same problem where I was like, okay, I need a left-handed pitcher. Where is this guy? Yada, yada, yada. And it took me 5 to 10 minutes having OOTP on and getting this and try to find him. Also, you kind of want to make sure that, this goes on to the next thing, to the next tab, is that the selections tab, you want to make sure that he's still not selected. I mean, if Jeff was thinking of going for a center fielder, he would have got, if he wanted Will Shannon, he would have been taken, and he would have been taken and he wouldn't have worried about that. But that's kind of the, the easy part with it, and that's why I kind of want you guys to have Out of the Park Baseball on, so it'd be easier for you all to draft and all that stuff. We're only going to be doing this draft, probably to the 6th round, and then I'll finish up the draft, and I will have it all up as soon as possible. I know that's taken a while, but I finally got some days where I'm not, working and everything else. But anyway, let's have a good draft, and I hope that everybody has a good draft and have a great rest of the season. Of course, if you have any questions, message me on the group chat, and I will try to answer them as best as I can.